Alright, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Thespian coming at you with a new one. And today we are going to talk about Sin. Should you play him? What's good about him? What's bad about him? The whole shebang. Sin review. Now, I know a lot of people are probably thinking, it's like, yo man, like he's only been out for like 5 minutes. Like why are you already reviewing him? And reason is, I do feel this character is very simple. You can kind of overall grasp, you know, what's good about him, what's bad about him. As far as telling you, it's like, oh, I think he's like top 5 or maybe like A, B tier. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you that because we don't know yet. But I feel like I can tell you from the time I've played with him since launch up until the recording of this vid, if he's a fun character, what's good about him, what's bad about him, and should you try him out. I'm going to try to answer those questions for you and give you my honest thoughts, how I feel about the character. So let's go ahead and dive in. But before we do, make sure to give this video a like, share, subscribe, help support the channel, and follow me on Twitch where we do these videos live, twitch.tv/thespianlive. So Sin is a very simple character. Right off from the bat, you automatically know what ranges you want to be playing. It's going to be around this range where you can press some of his big buttons, do his big cancels, and get that big juicy damage. So a lot of the buttons that Sin's going to be using a lot is his 2S, which is a really good poke and can lead into the Elk Drive, into a cancel, into RC shenanigans. Other good button is his Far Slash. Now, I know a lot of people think this button is bad. Now, I do think it's pretty rough button. Like, you could tell, like, he's there for 50 years. Is too good to not press on certain situations because it still gives you the corner carry. It still gives you the pressure off of the Elk Dash cancel. Like, I think it's still a button worth pressing in certain situations. Other good buttons include his 2K. Like, this button you can press for like 50 years. Like, it is insanely fast. Can lead into, you know, small little pokes that can get your momentum started. Another good button is his 6K, which is also low, so you can catch people slipping into whatever shenanigans you want to do. That's it for his buttons. Now let's move on to his special moves. So special moves, the main one you're going to be using is his Elk Driver. Big range, it's why I say you're going to be poking from this range a lot. The Elk Drive and every single special move, he has access to a follow-up that wastes 1 bar of stamina down there, the orange bar. So you can either decide to do the follow-up, the dash to get in more pressure, or both, which causes you to waste 2, but it does put you in a, you know, pretty decent range, and more importantly, gets you that corner carry. His next special move is his DP. Same deal. It's a 2-hit DP. I think it's actually pretty good. It does remind me a lot of Belial's DP from Grand Blue Versus. RAP Grand Blue wins a rollback. In case they block your DP, you can kind of do a late cancel on the follow-up and maybe get a counter hit or maybe just get them off you for a little bit. Or you can do the dash cancel as well. His next move is his Elk Hunt. So it's a low, just think of it like a stun dipper, and it hits low and you can do a follow-up. So with the low, you are plus on blocks, so you can keep the pressure going. And the other move he has is his Hoof Stomp. So it is a double overhead. If you notice, it hits twice and he doesn't have to do the full rotation. He hits you literally very high up. Like, he doesn't do the full rotation for the first hit to hit you. And like I said, you can get the second hit. It's all an overhead. This move is definitely a nerf compared to his old overhead and exert. Like dude, like I would get hit by that like full screen. Like it was insane. But this is still a pretty good move. It does leave you airborne, so it does beat throws and some lows. So that's another positive. And just like the other moves, you can do a follow-up by pressing the same button, or the dash cancel. Alright, he has 2 super moves, which the first one being his Tyrant Barrel. Now, this is a really sick super. I think it does more damage than the right, the lightning. The only negative part is you got timing to get that clean hit. Now, if you notice that there was a bit of a slowdown, that means I got the clean hit. If you actually mess up the timing, you won't get the full damage. If you do it early, though, you still get the wall break. However, if you do it very late, they won't get the wall break. They'll just roll around. So, if you're not comfortable with the timing, just do the Tyrant Barrel a little earlier. That way you can get the wall break. Now, the easiest way to do it is he has a voice cue, so you know when to do the follow-up. Usually that's when you let go of the button. I just hold square when I do the super. It's a debuff for me because I play this game muted because OST is trash. I'm sorry. The other super is Raido Lightning 2. Now, he has this really sick thing with a lot of meter. If you actually use all of your meter, you can do a splash follow-up. And if you hit the wall, it leads to a lot of damage. I've already seen some TODs against Chip. I've already seen like 80-90% combos with it. So honestly, it's really insane how much corner carry the super gets you. Like, I did wake up super from the other corner. We're already on the other side. Like, it's kind of ridiculous, but I mean, Guilty Gear, bro. I don't know what else to say. And those are all of Sin's moves. Now, like I said, they're all very simple, very similar. All of them lead into damage, corner carry, and into either more damage or more corner carry. So, overall positives with this character. I feel that this character is very, very fun. He's very easy to use, which is both a good and bad thing. We'll talk about in a little bit. But the fact that he's very easy to use is going to open the door to a lot of players, especially newer players that are, deciding, okay, who should I use? What DLC character should I spend my money on? Obviously, Happy Chaos. But if they don't want to use Happy Chaos, what should I use? And I think Sin is going to be a really good character for that. Okay, the other positive with Sin is not only is he easy to use, he has a very simple game plan. It might be why I'm gravitating so much to him, because a lot of these characters in Strive, they're very gimmicky, right? And that's just the way it is with Guilty Gear. It's all about the gimmicks. It's just the fact that you have so many routes, so many options with every single move. It feels like you can find meaning into any button, any move that you press because you have options. Now, granted, you can't go willy-nilly. You gotta manage resources. You gotta manage your meter, your stamina, everything. I feel like all of his moves matter, except for one, but we'll talk about it in a second, in his gameplay. The biggest positive that Sin has, besides him being very easy to use or having a simple game plan, is how close he is to actually being a well-rounded character. So, as I mentioned before, most of the top tiers are top tier because they have, busted buttons, crazy moves, but the biggest thing is they take advantage of the game's properties, i.e. the biggest one, wall break. Sin can literally get to the corner and potentially wall break at almost any range. It's insane. And the fact that he can do that grants him access to positive bonus. This character with meter is a problem, and is just something that you don't really see with a lot of the cast. A lot of the cast, they don't take advantage of wall break a lot because a lot of their kit isn't designed around it. Once they get a positive bonus with meter, Ram, Nago, Chaos, it's basically checkmate at that point. So the fact that Sin has access to top tier privilege makes him actually hang with them a little bit. I'm not saying Sin is top tier. He's definitely not top 5 in any capacity, but it almost feels like he has a fighting chance compared to a lot of the others in the cast. So that's all the positives. On to the negatives. So the first big negative for this character is he has to play in ranges where other people play as well. So as I mentioned before, /2S, the range he's playing is almost the exact same range Nago, Ram, and Happy Chaos are playing. And unfortunately, they just play it better. So and those characters are some of the most used characters out there, minus Chaos. So you're gonna run into a lot of situations where you're gonna get got. You're gonna get got because all those characters that are just leagues apart from Sin are also playing at, and it's just not gonna be a good time. Now, granted, it's still something to consider, especially once you're playing, somewhere in the higher floors where people are more experienced. They know what they're doing most of the time, and yeah, it's just gonna be a bad time for Sin. It's the unfortunate part, but it was something that I believe everyone was expecting if they added Sin, because Sin has big buttons in Exert. If they're going to tone them down or keep them, he has to compete with the other characters that have bigger and better buttons. So that's the first negative. Now the other negative, and you've probably noticed if you've made it to this the vid this far, is this move. His Eat. In the previous game, this was refilling your stamina so you can keep doing special moves. In this game, you get a random buff. So it's either you get more health, more attention meter, or covers stamina. This move takes so long to do that for a good amount of the cast, I don't recommend using this move because you're leaving yourself vulnerable, especially because there's a whole chart showing like all of the different like buffs you can get, and I just feel like it's so convoluted for no reason. And like, granted, it's Guilty Gear. Gimmicks, I know. But this might be a hot take. I don't know. Let me know if it is in the comments. But I feel that this move is just forgettable. Those are all the pros and cons to Sin. Now, my final thoughts, guys, is I think this character is mad fun. I obviously want to showcase the positive and negatives from both like a casual standpoint and also, a competitive standpoint, because this game is rough right now. Like, if you're not using one of the top tiers, I don't know what you're doing. However, if you are looking for a new character to try out, if you're trying to play the game for the first time, because it is on sale for this Black Friday weekend, and if you're looking for a new DLC character to try, I think Sin is one of the most fun DLC characters so far. I feel that he's very good for a lot of people to have success with. With Strive being what it is, that could be a positive or negative depending on who you are. I think Sin gets the Thespian seal of approval. I recommend y'all try him out. I know a lot of people I've already talked to that, view Sin and Exert. I know they have a lot of mixed feelings about how he is, because again, with Strive, they are going to change the way a character is, especially returning characters, but I feel the way they changed him isn't the worst compared to some of the other returning characters, but obviously it could have been better. Let me know in the comments below, how do y'all feel about Sin? Do you agree with anything or disagree with anything on this video? And for those that actually played Sin in the past, how do you feel about him now in Strive? I'd love to see what y'all think about him. And as always, guys, make sure to give this vid a like, share, subscribe. It helps support the channel. And follow me on Twitch, where we are going to keep playing Sin a good amount. Twitch.tv/ThespianLive. Like, I'm very much a grumpy pants. I've just had a blast using him, and I feel like a lot of people will too. So until then, that's going to be it for the vid. I will see y'all on the next one. Take care.